Hello, my name is Ash, a counselor in training. This is my Relatable study podcast for individuals who need help studying for their NCE, CPCE, and other related counseling exams. I'm going to go through many questions from multiple resources and make the answers relatable to both you and me. So get your listening ears on and let's get studying. A 35-year-old laborer's wife insists that he has a problem. He experienced depression several years ago. He consulted his primary care physician 6 months ago with no permanent findings. He does not abuse drugs. He tells you he feels great despite sleeping only 4 hours a night. He claims he has the fastest hands in the plant. He admits to being irritable with his family and feeling restless. He spends most of the day shopping online and has maxed out 2 credit cards in the last week. Which disorder does his behavior suggest? A. Bipolar, B. Borderline personality, C. Conduct, D. Depression. The answer is A, bipolar. Bipolar disorder has mood swings, changes in behavior, energy levels, and activity levels. It also includes manic depression and manic depressive disorder. This client has a lot of changes in his behaviors, such as sleeping only 4 hours a night, feels great, claims he has the fastest hands in the plant, being irritable and restless, so on and so forth. He has had depression in the past, and with his current symptoms, he does not need to be considered for conduct disorder or borderline personality. With questions like these, review these symptoms and then rule out anything that does not seem consistent with any other disorder such as conduct or borderline personality disorder. So it would be either bipolar or depression. The key difference between depression and bipolar would be the client stating that he feels great despite sleeping 4 hours and feeling irritable with his family and feeling restless. That shift in the mood takes depression out of the lineup, so borderline personality disorder is the correct answer. What is proximal development zone? Proximal development zone is the gap between what a learner can do and what they can achieve with guidance. For example, take a teacher and a student. The student is the learner and they could do so much by themselves, but they can achieve more with the guidance of a teacher because the teacher can teach the student what they can learn and how to apply it to their life. A client says she has always stayed home and raised her children. Now the children are grown and she is seeking employment. She is best described A, as a displaced homemaker, B, as a victim of underemployment, C, by a DSM diagnosis, D, as a victim of a hidden job market. The answer is A. She is best described as a displaced homemaker because she has always stayed home and raised her children, and now she is seeking employment after her children are grown. What is psychoanalysis? Psychoanalysis is a therapy focused on uncovering unconscious conflicts through techniques like free association and dream analysis, and it also uncovers repressed feelings and interpretive deep-rooted emotional patterns. What is the main purpose of a cultural formulation interview? A, to determine if a counselor is the right fit for a client culturally. B, to create culturally specific guidelines for evaluating clients. C, to understand how a client views their cultural identity and what the cultural definition of their issue is. A, the sole bias for formulating a diagnosis. The answer is C, to understand how a client views their cultural identity and what the cultural definition of their issue is the main purpose of a cultural formulation interview. A cultural formulation interview is a protocol design that is used by clinicians to gather essential data to produce a cultural formation to improve culturally sensitive diagnoses and treatment plans to focus on the attention of the client's perspective and social context. I recommend doing more information about cultural formulation interview to help with a variety of individuals from different cultures. That is all 5 questions for this episode. Thank you for listening. Keep calm and study on.